Hi everyone, and welcome to Party at Home with Diane. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Washington State. I live in the foothills of Mount Rainier, right above the Puyallup Valley, and we are having a gorgeous day today. It is beautiful. A little chilly, but beautiful. And I am a wife, an empty nester, and the mom of 2 whippets. And like any little creature, they are quiet until you want to do something. So you might hear them going off in the background. They've decided they need to play. So anyway, that's enough about me. Let's get stamping. So this is the card we're going to do today. We're using the Hey Chick die set, and I am in love with this. I am over the moon with this stamp set, because it is a big bang for your buck. So with this set, the stamps, you want to get the dies, because not only do you get the dies for the 4 chicks or the 3 chicks in the egg, which is hysterical in itself, you get the 3 stamps, but you also get all these extra dies. So you get the signpost, the barn, the corn stalk, the corn feed, and I'll show a quick tip for that in the video. The stump, you get the corn cobs and the husks. And this is awesome, because who does not like going one at a time when you want to make a whole bunch? So they give you four sets of those, so you can just whip them out and nothing flat. Then you get 2 egg dies, which are too cute, and then you get the dies for the chicks. So this set is awesome. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, please check down in my comments and feel free to shop. I would love to have you as a customer. And if you want to join Stampin' Up, I would love to have you on my team. And I'm just getting started, so I don't have a big team yet, but I'm going to get there. So I don't have a lot of Stampin' Up products yet. I have a lot of stamps and paper, but not a lot of the markers and things. But I'm getting there. So bear with me. So I'm going to do a quick tip first before we get started. Oh, no. I'm going to do a supply list before we get started. So the supplies that I used are for paper: the basic white, cut to 5.5 by 4.5, scored in the center. The spruce, the shaded spruce, cut at 5.25 by 4. That's from the Regal's cardstock. The soft seafoam, cut to 5 by 3.25, and that's from the Subtles collection. I did it in the white when I was playing around with it, and I just didn't like the whiteness. It was just too bright. And so I decided to go with the soft seafoam. So for inks, let me get these. I used the Memento black, the Stampin' Up soft suede. Oops. I used the Daffodil Delight, the Granny Apple Green, which is my favorite, the Early Espresso, and the Mango Melody. So those are the stamps that I used today. I also used for the markers, the only 2 that I have right now, but I'm going to get more slowly but surely. I'm using the Stampin Blends. Oops, there we go. Here we go. I used the dark gray granite. I used the light, and it just didn't work like I wanted it to for the depth of the chain link fence. So the dark gray granite is what I used. And I'm going to do a quick tip. If you don't have anything that makes you know, like mirror card or something for the chain link fence, here's the quick tip. All I did was I took some white cardstock, I took the fat end of the marker, gave it a quick go over on my paper. I laid down, where's it at? I laid down my die, zipped it through my die cutting machine, and it comes out like this. And it's kind of dull. It doesn't look like much like a fence. But here is the quick tip. Get out your Wink of Stella. This is amazing. Get it nice and juicy on your brush, and then just go over it. And it's going to give it that shiny, shiny look like chain link fence does when the sun's out. Okay, I'm giving it a lot because I like a lot of sparkle. Okay. So that's that. And then for supplies, I'm going to use the silicone mat. It has sparkles on it, sorry. The Wink of Stella, I have it everywhere because I didn't let it dry before I played. I'm going to use the glue, sponge daubers. Now I have a lot of sponge daubers that look like this, so I'm going to be using those today. I want to use these up before I buy other sponge daubers. The blender pen, have a blender pen. All these you can find in the supplies area of the catalog. And then this is like my find. I didn't even know this existed until I started watching YouTube videos. It is the most amazing tweezers I have ever seen, because you can pick it up. You probably already know this, but it was new to me. And it locks. You don't have to hold it down. This is great. I am like over the moon. So I use those. Got those off of Amazon and for a set of 3, pretty cheap. And I think that's everything that I used. So let's get started. And glue. I have a lot of glue. And so I'm going to be using my glue up before I buy the glue from Stampin' Up. So it's okay. If you have supplies, I'd rather you buy the stamps and the dies than worry about, I already have glue. Do I need glue? Use what you got. Scrap what you got. And then as you need more, buy the Stampin' Up and replace it with the Stampin' Up slowly and surely. But use what you got. I'd rather have, like I said, I'd rather have you buy the stamps and dies and not so much worry about the glues and things. So let's get started. So here is my soft seafoam cut to 5 by 3 3/4. Here is the fence that we just did. Oh, I'm going to go a different way. We're going to start with the corn stalks because those need colored. We're going to start with the coloring first. Can you see that? Can you see that okay? So I'm going to take the Granny Apple Green. I just love this color. And my little dauber. I like to start from the bottom. I don't know why. I just can put my finger there. And I'm just going to pounce. Pounce, pounce, pounce. I find that works so much better than running it up and down, because then it bends and you just don't want that. So I just give it a pounce. And by giving it the pouncing, you also get all that different blending of colors. Missed a spot there. So we're going to do these. I love Stampin' Up. I would go to Stampin' Up parties years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago. One of my neighbors was a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and she would have a monthly party for people in her club, and we would sit, and there would be about 10, maybe 11 of us, and we would do like 5 or 6 cards in a night and just sit there. It was a potluck. If we didn't want to do potluck, we did snacks, and it was just so much fun. I would love to do that, but with right now, that's just not possible. But I would love to do that in the future. So right now, I'm just going to do some YouTube videos. And if you want to hold a party, we can do Zoom videos. Those are awesome and so fun. And they really are easy. So next I'm going to go with the Daffodil Delight. In living above the Puyallup Valley, we used to be known, we don't have a lot of daffodils anymore, but for our daffodils, you could drive through the valley and that's all it was daffodil fields and tulip fields. And it was so pretty. We have an annual daffodil parade. Last year and this year we haven't had one, which is really sad because, man, I can remember riding horses in the daffodil parade. It goes through all 4 cities in our area in one day. And I remember riding horses in that when I was like 10 years old until I was 15 in the daffodil parade. And that was just like, it was on TV. It was just great. Everybody came out for all 4 towns. And it was amazing. And now it's just slowly kind of dwindled down. And oh, let me keep stamping. Memories, I tell you. And now they're going to do a drive-by parade where the parade is now not moving. And people can drive by in their cars to look at the floats and the daffodil princesses and things, which I think is pretty neat. I mean, if you got to get creative, that is a great way to do it, but it's still just, it's not the same. So the next one I'm going to do is Mango Melody. And I'm just kind of going to go just kind of a bounce off on just, not on the whole thing, just kind of a little bit on the edges, just to give it a little bit of dimension. So there are our corn stalks. Isn't that just so cool? I love this die set. I am so happy. Whoop, where are my tweezers? Okay, so now we have these. These are the little husks. And I learned something. It is so much easier to take your piece of paper, take your dauber, let's go back to the Granny Apple Green, and daub on your paper. Just anywhere. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't matter if it has the circles or the triangles, whatever you're using. I just found it was so much easier to do it on your paper first, then put your dies on and run it through your dies, because then they come out colored. So now you have to, this is just hard for me. I think I have 2 left hands. So I'm going to hold it down and then just give it a good daub. So there's a big debate on YouTube when you go to look up different YouTube videos for this die set, and I just laugh. It makes me smile about how many corn grow per corn stalk. So I googled it. And it can be anywhere from 1 to 3 depending on the corn and how it's planted. If it's planted close together, you'll get 1. And on sweet corn, you can get up to 3, sometimes 4 if they're planted further apart. So I thought that was kind of fun to learn. So let me get these. Whoops. Let me get this so I can hold it down. Okay. And so then another thing, I was looking at these. These kind of look like tulips, like the edges of tulips. And I was thinking, if you took the corn cob and put it upside down, that could be like the outside of the tulip. So you could do it in red or whatever. Oops. Put the corn cob upside down up on there, and you have a tulip. Or you have a bluebells, or you can do anything. So it really is. This is a versatile die. Oh, put it over there, and I need it. So we're going to come back over here. Now on the corn cobs, it's really hard to see. It's really faint. I think my die cutting machine is just getting old. I've had it for a long time. So I'm going to upgrade to the new dies that the new cutters that they have from Stampin' Up. You know, no matter how prepared you are, sometimes it just doesn't work. But anyway, on these, they have these little tiny embellishments on it that look just like the corn cob. Some of mine show it and some of them don't. Like I said, I just think it's my die cutting machine. It's just losing its strength. Okay, so where is my yellow? Did I use it with my orange? Well, that'll work anyway. So I'm going to take... there goes the dogs. I started out doing them in a yellow and then just kind of pounced the orange over top. So take the yellow, kind of pounce it. It doesn't matter if it doesn't go all the way down to the bottom, because the bottom's not going to show. It's going to be under the husk. Oh, so that was the Mango Melody. We'll go with that. I'm just lost. Yeah, we'll just go with that. No, I wanted a yellow over top of it. So let's just see. I have an empty one here. I'll take the Daffodil Yellow and we're just gonna pounce it right over the top. Oop. You know, that's what's really nice about stamping, is there is no stamp police. I quilt, and one of the things a lot of people say is all the time when people ask a question is like, do what you want. There's no stamp police. Don't worry. And that's true. Just sometimes you just have to get out of your own head and just do it and let it be. Let it be natural. Let it just go. Okay, so I'm gonna pick these up, put a little bit of glue right on the end, and here's where I'm going to use my silicone mat. Slide these over. Make sure I get it going the right way. And then I can put these down. And if you get glue down, it's not gonna like stick to your surface because you're using that silicone mat. Ivy, hush. I tell you, they're like 2-year-olds. They don't want you until you start doing something. So we're gonna put, whoops, a little bit glue down there. Flip it around. So they have a little V or a little point at one end. So that's the one that you want to use at the top. The other end is more rounded. You can see it here. It's more rounded where this one has more of a point. So I already have glue on my mat because I dropped it. So we're just going to scoop that glue up and put it there. I was going to have more of these done before I started. And the dogs were just being stinkers, and I forgot when I started the video that I wanted to have more of these done so you didn't have to watch. But that's cool. It's okay. We go with it. Just go with it. Oh my goodness. There's my other one. There's one. So our dogs are whippets. The very high energy, skinny little dogs who have high energy or no energy and they just lay on the couch like a couch potato. So I'm really surprised that they want my attention right now because we've already been outside playing and chasing the ball. Okay. I have one extra one, so we're just going to put that one off to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll work. So we're going to take our corn stalks. We're going to put a little glue down here, a little glue up here. And I know that the corn doesn't grow that low, but, you know, again, there's no scrapbook police. There's no card making police. So put that one off to the side and let it dry. So let's do one way up high and one over here. This card set is so fun. It's so intricate and it's just amazing how fun it can be. I like to color, so you'll notice a lot of times that I will start with white cardstock and color. I like to save my my colored cardstock for on the cards, for highlighting on the cards and stuff. And it just kind of bugs me sometimes when I gotta cut it down to make the edges for the cards, the backgrounds for the cards. That's just me. But I like to color. So, oh no, well, we'll fix that. Just a little glue. A dab will do ya. There we go. So I'm going to set those off to the side. So the next thing is I'm going to take a piece of scratch paper. I have a lot down here. And we're going to do the little planter box. And all I did was kind of measured out how big I wanted it, gave it a little snip, how long I wanted it, And then I just tore it. And I have to think here. So if you tear it away from you, you're going to get this nice little, here we go, nice little rough edge on it. I'm going to tear this one down just a little bit more. And I like that rough edge because when you add your ink to it, so I'm going to use the soft suede. Where's my suede? I'm going to bring it from up top, and I'm going to bring it here. Get my hands out of the way. I'm going to bring it, oh, that won't work, over the top. And what it does is it rolls that edge over. So it makes it look more like dirt. And it gives it that nice brown. Dirt for the box look, like a planter box, or even just dirt. And I went over it kind of a lot just to get that depth right there. I thought that was just pretty cool. Okay. So I'm going to set that off to the side. Oh, when you cut out your fence, you get all these little pieces that look like this. So if you are a shaker card person, you can save all those. And then use your spritzer, put it in a little bowl, a dry bowl, and then use your little spritzer sprayer. I don't have one handy. And just put a little kind of drop of ink in there, or you can use your wet brush and drop some water in there of like watercolor, and it'll like change it. It's like, it works great. But then you have your little, or you can use your Wink of Stella on them, and then you have your insides for your shaker cards. Okay, so next we have the little Have a Happy Day. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to take the brown, the soft suede, and I'm going to take my dauber, and I'm just going to go over the edge and make it look like it's just been painted and had a lot of wear and tear. And I know this is a little longer video, but I figured you could do this with me in real time. Make it a little bit fun. Okay, we're going to get our stamp. And we're going to use Have a Happy Day. I'm going to pull that out. Get my stamp block. Use the black Memento. I like the word, or no, I'm not going to use the black Memento. I am going to use the soft suede. I'm going to ink it up. Stamp it off, make sure it's going to look okay. And then I'm just going to stamp it right on here. Have a happy day. Oop. And there we go. You use my chamois, clean it off. Oh, quick tip for the chamois. Watch this. I'm going to take this off, put it away, otherwise I will lose it. The chamois. The chamois come in this nice big size. Like this. here, 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 and here. And what I did was I cut my chamois down. It is so easy. You just take your scissors and snip, 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 and then you have two. But then I was like, it's still a little bit big for me, and if you're like me, getting that whole big chamois messy was just kind of messing with my head. So what I did was I took it and I cut it in half again, and I got these little individual chamois. And now when I do a party or demonstration or workshop, I have one where everybody can have their own little piece of their chamois to clean off their stamps, and it works great. And it's more easier for me to manage a little chamois than it is for the big huge chamois, but that's just me. Okay, next we got our chicken. So let's get, here it is. I like to do the light first. Can we see that? There we go. And I'm just going to take it and go over the light, go over him with the light. These chickens. I would do it in yellow, but I don't have the yellow markers yet, the Stampin Blends. So slowly but surely I'm going to build up my stock. But for right now, we're just going with what we got. Okay. Then we're going to use the dark gray granite, again with the big end. I like the big ends. And I'm going to go right along the inside of his wing, or her wing, along the body. Blend it all. I just kind of go in a circle. What is it? Happy circles. Let's make happy circles. Give it a little blend. And then I'm going to take the dark on the other end, the small end. I'm just going to dot where the leaves are, or the feathers, and I'm just going to give it dots. I try not to go straight up and down so I don't mush the end of the tip. Instead of going up and down this way, I just kind of tap it on the sides. That looks good. All right. Then we have the red for his beak, or for his, oops, I don't have a red. Let me pull out a red. I am so sorry. I thought I had everything out. Okay, this will work. Oh, this will work. Like I said, I'm still working on getting my Stampin Blends built up. So he's in. Oh, we need an orange for his little beak, her little beak. Okay, now we have him. Isn't he hysterical? Oh my lordy, lordy, lordy. He is, I live by a fire station. So he is just adorbs. So, and I'm just going to give him along the outside. Shadows. And then I'm like, oh gosh, what color should I do for his hair? You can do any color. I played with colors the other day with the alcohol markers that I have. I gave him purple hair, I gave him orange hair. I like the purple hair. So we're gonna go with the purple hair today. It just cracks me up. Crack myself up. So then the next and last thing we have is the barn. And what I did was I cut out the barn in white. And then I took my scissors, because I am so not afraid to cut stamps apart once you've cut them out. And so I cut off the top, just the top part, so I can get the outside, the edge. And what I did was I just layered it right up there, right up against that edge. So now you have just a highlight around there. So let's glue that down. My glue open too long. There we go. Glue this down. And I just nested it right up there. Whoop. My fingers just don't want to work today. And then this part, it'll nest down on there when we glue it down to the card. But there you have just a little effect, and you don't have to worry about coloring it. I did color it, and I didn't like how it looked, and that's just kind of how it is. All right, so let's get back to our card. I am so excited. So I have the card. Make sure these are all loose from the... Okay, so what I did first is I started with where I wanted the dirt, and all I did was I just added a little bit to the end, to each end. And let's put it right about here. And I kind of bumped it up just a little bit, so it wasn't quite flat. So then I took my corn stalks, figured out where I wanted them. And now here's where I just do the layout. How many I'm going to use? I think I'm just going to use 2. You can put this down here. Where am I going to want the barn? Well, let's put the barn up here. It can be straight, it can be sideways, it can be however you want it to be. So let's put her here with her little butt hanging out. And him, I just tucked it right on, because it's like, hey, I'm kind of crazy and I'm kind of here. Let's just peek in. So what I did was then I took, that's green. You could do green. Let's do green. Green on green. Let's see how that works. So if I want her right here, let's just make some grass, a little area for her. It's kind of a green brown. I think I used my brown on it, so that works. Kind of blend it. And then behind her, I'm going to blend that a little bit. Just use what I got on there. Oops. Just kind of pick a spot and go for it. Okay, so I missed that spot. Let's bring it down a little bit. But, you know, hey, it's a card. You can make it however you want to make it. There we go. Okay, so let's get these back where we want them. They got all tangled up. That'll work right there. And it can be above the green a little bit because we're going to put it on that, the other green, the shaded spruce. Bring this here. Bring her here. And bring him here, or her. Okay, that looks like about where I want. So I'm going to take these out. I'm going to get my glue. And I just glued on the bottom. So the top is just kind of hanging out there. Kind of freeform. And add the glue to this one. I'm gonna put this one underneath. I do want it straight though. Well, that's as straight as it's gonna get. Okay, so we're gonna glue this down. Well, I got it on there crooked, and I could move it, but that's just where it's gonna go. And I can add a little bit more green down here if I wanted. There we go. Going to, where is, I lost my sign. Okay, we'll come back to the sign. Okay, we're gonna put her, we're gonna figure out where we want this, where his head to pop out. Gonna have her bottom kind of coming over that. Okay, about like that. So I'm just gonna hold my hand there and bring the glue. Glue him down, her down. With purple hair, I think she's gonna be a she. I'm gonna leave the top just without any glue. And then I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm gonna cut from the back. And I'm just gonna cut it right on off. There we go. Now we have our chickie. Gonna set her down, and you can make her go either way, any way. She can be like all the way down, a little bit up. It's really just how you want to use it. Oh, and I'm going to use my dimensions. Gonna pop her up. Oop. Put the dimensions on. Oh, sorry about that. I just went right off the camera and wasn't even paying attention. So I'm going to put the dimensions on, figure out where I want her and her little hiney sticking out. Right about right there. I am just losing my mind. My mind is gone. And so is my sign. Okay, this happened to me earlier today and I lost something. Oh my gosh, what did I lose? Oh, I lost this piece. I looked everywhere for it. I could not find it anywhere. I stood up and it fell out of my pants. I have not a clue. Okay, so we'll do the sign in a little bit. So we're gonna take the silicone sheet, put some glue on it, and we're going to run this through the silicone sheet. This is just how I found that it was easiest for me to use. And the glue doesn't stick on the silicone sheet. I'm going to start and go off just a little bit. And I want it right along the edge. And it kind of stuck a little bit more to my fingers. There we go. So we've got that. So we've got the glue on here. We're almost done. So you also have in the die set this little tiny piece here. And it is a little tiny piece. And what you can do is you can, on your piece of paper, you can use yellow up underneath. If I was using white on the top, and cut this out, and it'll make little holes. So you could have little holes for the yellow for the pieces of corn. Since I'm not using white, I didn't want to do that. So then I thought, well, I could use this as a stencil and just stencil the corn down there, and that worked. So it comes out like this. And so that did work, but I ran it through. I did the same thing. I took my white cardstock, used my daffodil, there it is, and dabbed it on the piece of paper, on the cardstock, and then cut it. And now I have all of these little tiny, tiny pieces that I can pick up. These little tiny pieces. And I picked it up just on the very tip, the very end. You don't need a lot of glue. Dabbed it in the glue and then put it down. Dab it in the glue and stuck it down. And I just kind of let them go where they landed. It's, you know, it's chicken feed. You throw it out there. You don't make it in a line. You don't, whoops. They are really small. You just toss the chicken feed out there. So that's what I'm doing. Use a couple more here. Now they're stuck to my fingers. I was going to put the corn on there, but I put 3 on one of them instead of just 2. So we got the chicken feed. Okay, there we go. So now we got the chicken feed. Let's get our sign. I put a dimensional on one end of it. So we're going to put the dimensional there. And I put glue on the other end. Whoop, it's stuck. And down on the here. And I just slid it right on in there. So now we have our card. It's all ready to go. Let's get our other pieces. I know this is a little bit longer than what I wanted to go, but that's okay, right? I'm going to put the glue on there. With any glue, a little bit goes a long way. So again, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, check out my my website. It's partyathome.net. I would love to have you as a customer. If you're just getting started like I am, let me know. There we go. And now we have our Hey Chick card. Have a great day. So if you like this video, go ahead and give me a like down below. Like I said, I'm new to YouTube and I'm new to Stampin' Up, so any likes and follows, that would be greatly appreciated. I like to do tips of the day, because I'm learning new stuff as I go along that a lot of people might not know or might know already, but I'm just learning. And so I'm sure that there's other people like me that are just learning. So like the quick tip about the making the fence with the Winkostella. I just had a brain dead. But with the Winkostella, that was just like a brain changer for me, mind changer. So anyway, go ahead and give me a like down below, and I will see you soon in another video. Have a great day.